Humans are social beings. We communicate verbally and non-verbally with our slouches and exasperated sighs. Communication runs the world, from the communication through nuclear plants and through fiscal and political debates on social policies and through simple Starbucks orders. Since communication rules us in so many ways, it is vital for y'all to learn how to converse properly. And this is critical not just through high school, but as you age and go to work and college, etc. And so what the communication is vital is between your superiors, like your teachers and your future bosses, etc. And so, for example, when you go to a teacher and you have a negative communication with them, this can inhibit you from getting an extension. When you have a negative communication with a college representative, that hinders you from getting into that college. And also, for example, when you go to an interview with an employer, if you don't have a really bad communication, this can really hinder you from even getting that super duper job you need. And so the way to navigate this road is to realize that when you communicate to your superiors, like your teachers, they're not your classmates. So you wouldn't talk to Dr. Matos or Dr. K like a friend, so use that same idea when you approach your teachers. So this is not to say you must change your personality, but know your audience and how to approach them. As you know, communication is super vital with humans, and miscommunication is root to many of our problems in this world. So I'll relate some quick tips of how to do this. So for example, when you ask for an extension, you want to realize that it is not up to you, it is up to your teacher's discretion. So, and that is reality. So instead you want to ask politely if it is possible. Don't demand. And always try to ask in advance. It's just much better. And also, your body language also plays a role, because 93% of our communication is nonverbal. And so when you're going up to ask for an extension, don't slouch, don't look like you don't want to be there, because this sends signals. And just bear with the discomfort for a little bit, and then when you're out, just do whatever you want. And so another area is through emails. So emails are just really strong right now because we're the tech world. And so this will play a role everywhere. So way to kind of go through this is the way you write about on Twitter about Little Pump is not the way you write to your teacher. So kind of have this academic formal tone. So for example, like I'll give you a situation I've seen students write. They write, did I miss anything? Nothing, no subject line, no dear this. And it can send some really rude tones. So the way you can, to combat this is you can type, Dear Mrs. and Mrs. Blank, what do I need to catch up to class? The differences of the tone is the first one is kind of where you talk to a classmate, but the other is the way you would kind of approach a teacher, because it's more formal, more respectful. And so kind of like even if you don't mean to be rude, how do you kind of know? Is think about the verbs. For example, I need to have an extension is more demanding, but if it's possible to have an extension, it gives more of a choice, because it's up to the teacher's discretion. So basically, in essence, you want to just avoid those demanding verbs. And these ideas are applicable in the future. As I said before, college interviews, employer interviews, the way you interact day to day with your coworkers, your bosses, these communications are vital. You don't want to have this idea that you're rude, even if you don't mean to. And so, and even if it's not just for your bosses, your teachers, it's also just for basic decency.